Alors, bonsoir tout le monde.
So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this regular public meeting of the City of Dieppe Council. It's 25th of February, and without further ado, welcome. Dear colleagues, may we have the serenity to accept the things that we cannot, May we have the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. If anyone needs the interpretation devices, they're available at the back of the room. So, call to order, confirmation of quorum by clerk. We have quorum. Declarations of conflicts of interest. Have we received any? So if not, okay, so we continue with the adoption of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Cormier, seconded by Councillor Leblanc. Carried or adopted as presented on the question. No questions. All those in favor of the adoption of the agenda, signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried as presented. We go now to presentation inquiries and petitions. First item is 7.1. Inquiries by council members to Kodiak Regional RCMP. Are there any questions from members of council? I know that we've heard positive comments concerning the amount of patrols to meet the needs of the citizens of the neighborhood. Thank you very much, and we hope it'll continue. Do you have anything to add, sir? Yes, maybe. Thank you. Good evening to all. Mr. Godet, you asked the Superintendent Crickshaw last meet statistics, how many members we have for normalized sobriety test to give on site. You asked them how many members. So before the month of October, we had approximately 25 members who had been trained to give these tests. Right now we're at 34, which is actually a very good average. Also, experts in recognizing drug consumption. In Kodiak, we have 9, and then in the southeast region, there are another 6 that we probably could obtain if we needed it. So I don't know if that answers your request. Yes, I also was interested in finding out what the situation was concerning the use of the product since the month of October. I think it had been mentioned that activities were normal. There hadn't been anything extraordinary following the legalization. So is the amount of illegal dealing continues? Because I know we say across Canada that usually there seems to be dealings continuing, illegal dealings, probably due to lack of inventory. There's still quite a lot of illegal dealings. Listen, I think that the illegal drugs, we can't say that it's going to stop, but there'll always be a little bit on our streets. But right now, we haven't heard that much about that much dealing. Anybody who's announcing that they have surpluses of marijuana. So in our sense, it's about the same thing. But we've had a raid last week. We found some, and the week before that, we had made a raid, and we find some. It's a little bit of everything, not just marijuana, but street drugs, pills, ecstasy, methamphetamine, crystal meth. So there'll always be some. But for us, things haven't changed that much in our daily dealings. So additional costs concerning the RCMP since October was basically for training. Yes, and I think that Superintendent Crishaw had mentioned it, that the federal was going to pay and the province, and there's going to be 50%, but I don't really have the figures for you, but once those figures are available, we'll be able to share them with everybody, and then we'll do it. Thank you. So you confirm that there's not anybody walking around on the streets with signs advertising fire sales or things like that? No, not yet. So are there any other questions for our... No? So, okay. Good. As always, you're invited to stay, but I know that you're a busy person, so if you leave, it'll be okay. Thank you, Mr. Breton. So now we are at 8 questions from the public, our vast public. Anybody has any question? No, so we continue. Adoption of the regular council meeting. Adoption of minutes of the regular council meeting held on February 11th last. Moved by Councillor Thibodeau, seconded by Madame Arsenault. On the question. No questions. So those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried as presented. Item 10. Motions, memorandums, and nominations on the engineering side. Our CEO or City Manager, Mr. Melanson. Thank you. Good evening. You have before you a revision of the standard municipal specifications for municipal works. It's a reminder that it's for all specifications for new buildings, all buildings for all roads in the city of Dieppe done by the municipal employees, public services, and private businesses, and work done on private property have to conform to the norms of the municipality. We've reviewed them. They dated back to 2017. We needed about clarifications for submissions and also the statements of responsibilities. We've standardized also the asphalt aspects to be closer to the standards of the provincial. We've added additional penalties. All the details are included in your kits. So those who wanted to read it, it's a little bit long, but all that is in the addendums of the memorandum. So essentially we've covered everything where there had been changes or improvements, things that had been done. So it's going to save a lot of time reading-wise, because it was a thick brick, 3 inches of rules and regulations and data. So this is to confirm that those who are putting in submissions mention that our standards are very high. So that's a good point for us. And that is a good thing, actually. It's a way to protect our investments. So for the reading of the resolution, Mr. Brideau. As soon as I turn your mic on. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That Council approve the revisions to the City of Dieppe Standard Municipal Specifications dated February 2019. So moved. Moved by Councillor Brideau, seconded by Councillor Thibodeau. On the question, Madame Le Boutillier. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say that I haven't read everything, but it wasn't part of my expertise to do something like that. I'm going to go to my notes, though. There's certain places at the beginning, page 29 at the beginning, for example, item, we talk about the people who are submitting the tenders. They can be sent through telegrams, telex. Is there a reason why we're using these types of communications that are maybe outdated? I just wanted to know. Madam Spencer. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We asked the same questions because we said that, okay, if ever there was somebody who wanted to use that way of communicating, we would let them, but That's old technology, so we'll just let it there. Okay, and on that same item, this new technology that we do have now, do we see the specifications through emails or something like that? We use the provincial site, Opportunities New-Brunswick, and the submissions are done on paper. They have to bring them to City Hall before the expiry date or the deadline. Okay, thank you. Any other question? So, all those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried as presented. Thank you. Item 10.2, Public Works. 10.21, the purchase of sidewalk tractor. As it was described in the municipal fleet program, you have before you a recommendation to purchase a sidewalk tractor blower to McFarland Limited at the cost of $122,778.72 plus HST. It's part of the capital program on the municipal fleet. It's recommended. We received 3 submissions after evaluation. This one was awarded to and for the council for the reading of the resolution. Monsieur Thibodeau. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That council award the contract for the purchase of a sidewalk tractor for the recreational facilities division to McFarland's Limited at the cost of $122,778.72 plus HST, pursuant to its proposal dated February 11, 2019, and authorized that this expenditure be defrayed from account number 3-3-20-12-7903, General Capital Budget Equipment Program. So moved, Mr. Mayor. Moved by Councillor Thibodeau, seconded by Councillor Leboutillier on the question. No question? All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried as presented. Item 10.2.2. Mr. Melanson, you have before you a recommendation for the Applied Pressure Incorporated for $76,500 for accessories for a Public Works Department dump truck. You had permitted the purchase of the truck, so this is to install the accessories so that it be functional for the services for which it's needed. For the reading of the resolution, Monsieur Cormier. That council award the contract for the installation of accessories on the Public Works Department's dump truck to Applied Pressure Inc. at the cost of $76,500 plus HST, pursuant to its proposal dated February 12, 2019, and authorize that this expenditure be defrayed from account number 3-3-20-12-7901, General Capital Budget Equipment Program. So moved. Moved by Councillor Cormier, seconded by Councillor Arsenault on the question. On the question, Monsieur Leblanc. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Clarification. I think I have the answer, but it's just that we're taking the accessories from the old dump truck and we're putting them on the new one. There's a further resolution so that's part of the accessories. And the other, I look at Monsieur Dubé, and if you have any other detail. Monsieur Dubé, good evening. The truck as such that we're replacing the whole equipment. The equipment is going with the truck. So it's for the installation. A little louder, please, Monsieur Dubé, because we can't hear you. Well, I shouted at the Canadians last night. So, okay. So for the accessories, the motion that you have for you is for installation only. There'll be another resolution where there'll be the boxes. It's like all different pieces, and Applied Pressure Inc. actually puts them together. So this resolution is adopted following the adoption of the next item and other pieces of equipment also. So maybe we should pass the other one first. I mean, it's probably the same thing, but yeah, well, we have to put the accessories on it. Well, the next one, we're talking about 4 boxes, so it's not really the same subject, but no, okay, agree. Any other question? No. All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried as presented. 10.2.3, purchase of 4 truck boxes. So here, following a tender, we're recommending to go with the Ville La Rochelle Equipment Incorporated for the purchase of 4 boxes to install on the new vehicle that we approved at the last meeting, and to replace 2 equipment pieces that are in the municipality that need to be changed, and also with the idea that another truck will be bought and changed after the winter season. So we're anticipating the 4th box now to have a better price. So following the procedure, we received 3 submissions, and the one that is recommended is Ville La Rochelle Equipment Inc. for an amount of $119,550.74 plus HST. So for approval tonight. For the reading of the resolution, Monsieur Godet, that council award the tender for the purchase of 4 truck boxes, BER 1439 model, for the Public Works Department to Ville La Rochelle Equipment Inc., pursuant to its proposal dated February 11th, 2019, at the cost of $119,550.74 plus HST, and authorize this expenditure to be defrayed from account number 3-3-20-12-7901, General Capital Budget Equipment Program. So moved. Moved by Councillor Godet, seconded by Councillor Brideau. On the question? No question. All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried as presented. Next item, 10.2.4, road salt supply. Yes, Mr. Mayor, before you, for the purchase of road salt. It was a very hard winter, so we figured that we were going to do this purchase in 2019 for additional salt. 3,000 tons that we're looking to buy, and it would be by the tender system of the province, so we can do it on public purchases. It's recommended to go with K+S Cell Windsor Limited at the cost of $203,520 plus HST for the 2019 winter season. For the reading of the resolution, Monsieur Leblanc. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Council awarded tender for the purchase of road salt to K+S Cell Limited, Windsor Limited, at the cost of $203,520 plus HST for the 2019 winter season, and authorize the expenditure to be defrayed from account number 1-2-35-65-2645, General Operating Budget, Salt and Sand. Moved by Councillor Leblanc, seconded by Councillor Louboutin. On the question. Mr. Godet, just, sorry, Mr. Godet, it's a question concerning the quality of salt. Last year there were problems with the municipality, not here, but for the quality. Is there, are there any, are we sure of the quality that we're going to get? Yes, we're the same, it's the same user, it's the same salt. Thank you. There have been some challenges, but people haven't been complaining of the salt. It's just that last year, depending on where the salt comes from, no, we didn't have any problems, no. No, I'm trying to explain that it's a provincial order, and we weren't sure where it came from. It's the same place where we had the purchase last season. Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Brideau. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's just for information, when we have a big amount of salt like this, I mean, this is for the beginning of 2019. What's left at the end of the year, is it put aside for next year? Is it still usable? Yes, certainly. We have a salt place, so we don't waste it. What is left is for the fall also that's coming up. Thank you. So if there are no other questions, those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The resolution is carried as presented. Item 11.1, bylaw C1 2019 relating to traffic and parking in the city of Dieppe. And we're going to have the first reading and the second reading by title only. Madame Arsenault. Go ahead. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bylaw number C-1, a bylaw relating to the traffic and parking in the city of Dieppe. Moved by Councillor Arsenault and Councillor Thibodeau on the question. No questions. So, Mr. Godet, sorry. There are big changes. Well, it's on Cousteau Street. You know we had problems with the vehicles, so it's essentially, how to solve the problem? Well, maybe it should be explained in more detail. Mr. Mayor, you have a map at the end of the document that indicates exactly where on the part starting at Notre Dame Street, approximately 105 meters eastbound, it'll be prohibited to park there on both sides till approximately the limit of the playing field, and then afterwards it'll be prohibited to park on the north side from the 31st of December to the 1st of March on Cousteau Street until College Street. So that means that we'll be able to do the necessary work for the snow removal. And also, I believe people in Ward 1 will be really happy to see this finally on Cousteau Street, because it was a problem, and it has been a problem for quite a while, particularly this winter. All right, now we've had the questions. If there are no other questions, those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Bylaw C1 2019. It's the first one in 2019, in this category, has been carried in first reading by title only. Now for the second reading by title only, Madame Arsenault. Bylaw number C-1, a bylaw relating to traffic and parking in the city of Dieppe. So moved, second reading by title only. Thank you. Moved in second reading by title only by Arsenault, seconded by Councillor Thibodeau on the question. No questions. So all those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried as presented. Notice of motions, none. Inquiries and announcements by members of council. And we're starting, I believe, with Madame Arsenault on my left. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say that it's a cold winter, and we're ready for the weekend of the break for the students, so be safe, have fun, and stay healthy. Thank you, Monsieur Thibodeau. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just congratulate people from the Public Works. We had mentioned to Mélenchon that there was a lot of ice on Nathalie Street. It's as if there had been some leaks. So Public Works people came, did some work, did some very good work, and it seems that there's no more ice there. Thank you. Madame Le Boutillier, thank you. Me, it was basically to invite people like Madam Councillor to participate. We have beautiful activities for the March break in the city of Dieppe. So go for it. Yes, there's there are quite a few different activities and events, so we encourage people to go on the municipality's website or on the city's Facebook site to go see the activities. Thank you. Monsieur Brideau. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's just one detail that I want to mention, and that is that I just want to congratulate the organizers of the month, the Black Month of February. We participated at the opening and closing ceremonies Saturday night. I'd really like to enjoy the evening. So I just wanted to congratulate the organizers of these activities. That's all, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Monsieur Cormier. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to congratulate the Mathieu Martin students for their victory, and also for the elimination round starts tomorrow night, and also during the weekend there was a ringette championship, and two teams from Dieppe were one against the other for the final team. So basically it was a team of Dieppe that won. So congratulations to all those girls for the beautiful play, exciting play, especially for grandparents. Monsieur Leblanc. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing tonight. Thank you. Monsieur Godet. I don't have anything tonight either. So, today, some of us participated in an information session on immigration. Councillor Thibodeau, Councillor Arsenault, and I must say that it was very informational. Many statistics, especially on different aspects of immigration, that basically tell us that there's a good process of inclusion that is in place, and that a good part of our newcomers do choose to stay in the region, and it's something that we see more and more often. Monsieur Brideau mentioned earlier the Black History Month, the month of February, and the events around this. It's a Congolese organization, but that reaches out to other people, Ivory Coast, Mali, everywhere. So all sorts of celebrations during the month. And as far as I'm concerned, every time I have the opportunity to speak at these events, I really ask our newcomers to make themselves visible in the community, to get involved in associations, in all types of social activities that we have in our region, so that we can see them, so that they be more visible in our communities, so that they get integrated in our communities quicker, because that is the way that they will become stakeholders in our communities and participate in the social activities and the development of our communities. So that being said, that's the message I wanted to bring forth. It's a challenge. We all know it. We have an estimated 1,200 to 1,500 jobs in this region of Southeast, where we have to replace, basically, but we have the new employments, but by attrition, people going on retirement. So we do need people to move here, be they from other provinces or other countries of the planet. It's very important if we want to maintain a certain level of standard of life, and we want to continue to have our economy move forward in New Brunswick. We are blessed in a certain way, because this is the region where there's the most amount of people who wish to remain here, as the figures have shown. It's basically the result of a survey around the province that was done, and that was published by the University of Moncton Friday, actually next week. It's going to be in the media, and I'm giving notice to Alexis, our reporter on the other side of the room, to make sure that he does get the information. There'll probably be a press conference by the SNA, Société Nationale de l'Acadie, that is next Friday. So we That being said, have a good evening and drive safely on our streets that are still a little bit slippery. Good evening.